Hello, welcome to the Metal Minutia Podcast. I'm Ray, I'm here with Phil.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about heavy metal way too much. This is the third part one.
Alright, yeah, cool, yeah.
Jewels in the Crown part one.
Yeah, excellent, cool.
Yeah, will we ever do a part two of any of the part ones?
I don't know, man. We're setting up a lot of franchises and possibly not delivering.
I think it's foundational stuff. You got to do the foundational work.
For sure. Yeah, if we don't do any part twos, we're kind of it's implicitly lying, isn't it? Like it's doing so many part ones and not part twos. So,
and when, if anything, we're truth tellers.
We are, indeed we are. Everything we say is truth.
As near as to it that we know.
Cold hard truth.
What have you been listening to?
It's our truth. I have been listening to Halford Resurrection.
Oh,
yeah. I randomly pulled it off the shelf the other day, and my main thought was I wanted to reference something with a quote-unquote modern production.
Yeah, okay.
I was just thinking of like albums that I think that sound excellent that are produced in the modern sense.
Is that early 2000s?
It's 2000. It was 25 years ago, man. So that's my modern production.
Yeah.
So I'm like, jeez, man. Yeah. My references are all out of whack. But anyways, that aside, that's not relevant at this direct time. What an incredible album.
I can't recall how it, like, I know I've listened to it in the past, but I can't recall it off the top of my head.
Wow,
I
think time to revisit.
Yeah. I think Fight comes to mind quicker than.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's neither here. Like that could be for any reason.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, fair enough. Halford, it's absolutely killer, man. Resurrection, sorry.
Yep.
Particular that album.
We all know Halford's killer.
We all know Halford's killer. Yeah, you're right. That's our truth today.
Rob John Conviction Halford.
Yeah, that's right. End of episode. Yeah, Resurrection's killer. I think it's his best solo outing, including Fight and all that stuff. And I think it's probably the best Priest album since Painkiller, to be honest, including the last however many years.
Yeah.
That's just my little...
I mean, that's how bands tend to go, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, by and large.
Yeah.
But yeah, title track Resurrection, Slow Down's another favourite, and Silent Screams, epic length track. Yeah, revisit, Ray.
Yeah, will do. I'll
Please.
add it to my list.
How about you, man? What have you been listening to?
It has been a few weeks since we've spoken, so there's been a fair bit in there. But so Grand Magus' Sunraven came out on Friday, so
cool.
I've been giving that a few spins. Austere, their Beneath the Threshold came out earlier this year, but I didn't really. I think I was away or something like that,
right.
And I hadn't. You know how you just don't. You know.
Well, you can't be on top of all things all the time,
no,
man.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, go easy on yourself, right? You know,
yeah.
It's all right.
But with them coming out on the Harakiri for the Sky tour
cool.
next month,
yeah,
I thought it was a reminder that it had come out and I should get onto it. And
yeah, awesome.
I've been enjoying that quite a lot. And the other one, Blood Incantation.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen a bit of that come out?
I haven't heard anything from it yet, but the cover art is like, I'm in.
Yeah. Well, there's actually like a 20-something minute film clip video thing.
Whoa. Okay.
And it's like I reckon you'll be. It's a bit of like almost a 2001 Space Odyssey type situation.
Twist my arm.
Yeah.
I'm in. Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, sort of death metal with proggy bits.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I'm really excited. I can't wait to check that out. I should get on top of that.
And sci-fi themed, so...
Yeah, mate. My name all over it.
Yeah. It's actually dedicated to you.
Yeah. Whoa. Thanks, guys. Yeah, killer. Gigs? Yeah.
So, since last we spoke, I went to Essence Festival, which was really cool. I had a great time. A lot of good bands. Probably too many to list. But what really sort of struck me towards the end of it, because I got to see a lot of friends that I hadn't, you know, the friends from Sydney I hadn't seen in a bit, but then one of my mates from Brisbane was there. I hadn't seen in probably a decade or something.
Yeah, wow, awesome.
And it's just, sort of reflecting it at the time that, you know, like I knew a fair few people there purely because we like live music and we've been in, you know, in the, that nice kind of...
It becomes a kind of small world at that
a bit of community and that kind of thing, you know. It's pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of good bands and a lot of people, and it was a good time.
Yeah, so well attended, good vibe.
Yeah. Really
awesome.
Really well attended. And then caught Spire and Midnight Odyssey and Petrol played the following week here in Melbourne, so I got to see them again. And yeah,
Yeah, nice one.
And they, Midnight Odyssey played a longer set the time here. So I think they played close to an hour or something. It was really cool.
Oh, cool. That's a sick band name.
Yeah.
Midnight Odyssey.
Yeah.
That's sick. Yeah. I saw Glenn Hughes.
Glenn
Hughes.
Yeah. I was in Sydney that week.
The other weekend. Comfortably full room. Great vibe in the crowd. Glenn Hughes' voice is still 71 years old, and it's still unreal.
Yep.
Real Deep Purple jam vibes on the stage. Like they drew out, a lot of the songs, a lot of extended jams in the middle. The band was obviously just pro. They were killer. The drummer was unbelievable.
Were they younger band members? Like obviously not 70s, but
not like the children that you would expect to see. Like sometimes you see
not like the Jeff Tate tour.
Exactly, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like
closer to contemporaries,
22-year-olds in hot pants kind of thing. Yeah, kind of age appropriate, I would say. An age appropriate.
He had an age appropriate rhythm guitarist.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. The drummer in particular was killer, and he did do a drum solo. It went for a long time. I think it's still going now, actually. No, yeah, he did an epic drum solo. The keyboard player, I don't often say, man, that keyboard player rocks.
Yeah.
The keyboard player rocked, man.
Nice.
And that's really important for Deep Purple songs.
John Lord being a big part of...
Huge. Yeah, huge part. Arguably, probably the heart and soul, or should I say, arguably like the real sound of Deep Purple is the organ. Like, even though, my favourite member is Richie Blackmore, the guitar, and even though, I don't know, like...
Well, yeah, I guess it's the... that's what really sets them apart from other bands of the same era. Like, everyone had a guitarist, but not everyone had a Hammond organ.
Yeah.
And
a hero on it. Like a genuine...
Yeah.
Like John Lord was just like tough as nails. Like he just looked like the coolest dude.
Yeah. Whilst playing Hammond organ.
Hammond organ, go figure,
The toughest... Imagine how tough he'd look on guitar.
Oh my God. Like, too much. Yeah. John Lord.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Indeed. But yeah, that was cool. That was a cool show. And last night I saw Black Jesus at the Tote. With they had a Black Jesus Presents. They had put a bunch of grind and death-ish bands on. Yep. And Black Jesus are a great band. It's not usually my cup of tea, the kind of more extreme stuff, but when I do like it, I like it a lot. And Black Jesus absolutely kick butt. Yep. They've got they've been operating as a trio over the last few years, and that's how I come to know them. But they've recently added a second guitar, and I didn't realise that what was missing. But it was missing was having a guy on the side going. And
it's amazing that often really improves things.
Yeah, totally, man. Just put a guy in there going, and everything's 20% up. Yeah.
The problem's when they have that guy but no bass player.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You gotta. It's an add-on, not a substitute.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Always adding. More is more.
More is more.
In all seriousness. Of course, when are we not serious?
Yeah.
I'm totally serious.
All the time.
But in additional seriousness.
Yeah. Deadly serious.
Deadly seriousness. He's a great addition, and I didn't realise that was missing, and it's really cool. So good work, Black Jesus.
Actually, one thing that happened at Essence that remiss of me not to mention. Well, actually, a lot of feedback from listeners at the festival, cool. Which was nice.
Wonderful.
A lot of people wanting more controversy out of us. But
fight more.
Get that. It was pointed out to me that we're actually pronouncing the name of the show wrong. Because, I know how this has happened as well.
Is it metal?
No, well, minutia is the one. Like a singular. But it's minutiae is the plural. But that doesn't work with the theme song.
No, it doesn't.
So I think how we logic our way...
Oh, what are we going to do?
No,
We've been making idiots of ourselves. We've been making idiots of ourselves.
Fools.
This whole time.
Yeah, I can't believe only one person's mentioned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon each individual episode is a piece, is a minutia.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that we can get around it that way. Then the broad grouping of them is the minutiae.
The minutiae, yeah. So like season 1 will be called minutiae. It'll be Is that kind of thing?
Like this episode is a minutia.
Oh, right. Okay.
This is a one metal minutia.
Okay.
And if you add the others to it, then it becomes a minutia.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's rock solid, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's rock solid. I can't believe that. That is so good. And it's not like I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, because you brought it up as being, if it's going to be plural, then we have to...
Yeah, so the spelling I was onto, but the pronunciation, not so.
Because we'd already done the theme song by then.
Yeah.
And we couldn't...
We made our bed.
We couldn't roll that back.
The plural of nebula is nebulae, so I do know this somewhere in the recesses of my brain, but obviously not. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. So, today, Jewels in the Crown, Part 1. We are talking about what... so previously we did Under the Radar, albums we don't think are talked about enough. But now we're doing albums probably still not talked about enough, but ones we think are really, really good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, like I guess you would call these albums they're not underrated as such, but for us, like appropriately rated. Appropriately rated albums.
Yeah.
Albums that deserve it. Helloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah, notably not Part 3.
Notably not Part 3. Not that we're mad at it, but we're just not talking about it.
No.
It's fine. It's fine.
It is fine.
Yeah, how are we going to attack this? You start. What's going on?
Well, let's talk about the fact that it was going to be a double... It's pretty weird the more I read about these albums.
Yeah, okay, cool.
The fact they wanted to make a double album.
Yeah.
The record label said no because they didn't have enough songs. And, it would have only been their second album anyway.
Okay, yeah. Imagine that. Like a second album in.
Yeah. The Michael Lakeath, the second guitarist, he was having a nervous breakdown during the period of the first album. Right. So, he has very little writing credits. It's just the one song on there. And the fact that they were thinking of double album, when one of their members can't write songs because he's not well, and they don't,
let's double down.
And they're also having a big change in musical direction with the new singer.
All right, let's go back a couple steps. All right, hang on a second. So Helloween are a power metal band from Germany, all right?
Yeah. Are we calling this the classic era or the classic lineup of them, or is the album before these?
That's fan opinion, and I don't feel comfortable making that call, right? Because I know people who live and die by the Kai Hansen original, by the EP in the Walls of Jericho from 1985. By the way, off to an absolute gunning start. Helloween 1985. They wrote and recorded that EP and the Walls of Jericho album. That all happened in the year of 1985. Written and recorded and released. Right. So absolutely off to a flying start. The original lineup being Kai Hansen on guitar and vocals, and Michael Weikart, I should say. While we're on the pronunciation.
Yeah, of course. It's German. He would be.
In German, indeed. Markus Grosskopf on the bass and Ingo Schwichtenberg on the drums. So that lineup wrote, recorded and released the EP in Walls of Jericho 1985. And off to a flying start already, right? And Kai Hansen, who's no slouch on vocals either. So it's like... let's up the ante. Let's...
and also, pretty much creating a new style of heavy metal at the time. Yeah. Because it was... I just don't know enough about what actually existed at that period that would be similar. But... Yeah. In terms of, when Number of the Beast came out, you had Angel Witch and Raven or whatever else. There was the new Wobbum scene. Yeah. But, how much of a... this is markedly different from that. Yeah. This is faster and more... where Maiden would have a gallop, these guys are, played straight and faster. And yes. It's a bit more blistering.
Yeah, definitely. I think that when heavy metal started branching into subgenres, which arguably happened at this time. This is 1985 when heavy metal started becoming...
And you got thrash popping up and...
Exactly. I think power metal is kind of the parallel of thrash. They both come from traditional heavy metal. They both got melodic vocals, but whereas thrash went to more aggression and dare I say just expressions of anger, power metal has gone in a more melodic and with poppier song structures and melodies. Yep. And so they're kind of parallel. They're both fast and intricate, but they're so different.
Yep.
And And yeah, so I just want to, what you just touched on there about creating a new style of heavy metal at the time, unknowingly, of course, but that's how all the great things happen. Yeah, so let's get back to that.
As very young people as well.
Yeah.
Because, it's remarkable that Kiske comes in on vocals for these.
Oh, my God. How old was he?
He was 18. But the other guys they're only 4 or 5 years older than him.
Yeah.
So, when these albums come out, they're 22, 23.
My God. So
they're 20 doing Walls of Jericho.
Yeah. That is so wild, man.
And, just the maturity in songwriting and... like technical proficiency.
Yeah. Man, I can't picture it, I mean, I've seen pictures and of whatever, but you just really can't picture the scene. It's like you've got these guys, they've coming off the back of Walls of Jericho, like, hey Michael, we need a new singer, like, why? I'm awesome. I'm an awesome singer. But let's just get I've seen this kid, he likes
somehow.
Elvis. Yeah, somehow I've seen this guy. I just can't picture it. And then, can you imagine being in the room when he was just like, hey, sing something off Walls of Jericho, like sing Victim of Fate or off the EP, whatever. But sing Ride the Sky, and all right.
Can do that.
So we're fans of Michael Kiske. You might be picking up here. You joined the band 86-ish, I guess.
And then so the Keepers 1 comes out in 87 and Keepers 2 in 88.
Yep. Okay.
Keepers 1, produced by Tommy Newton and Tommy Hansen, which is he was Tommy Hansen being from Pretty Mates.
Yep. Oh, cool. Yeah, gotcha.
And then Keepers 2, originally, again, the two Tommies were going to produce that.
Okay.
And they were going to work back to back, like day and night.
Yeah. Oh, like around the clock.
Yeah.
Just not stopping producing. Ever.
But they did stop eventually because Tommy Hansen, I believe, got fired by the record label.
Oh.
And Tommy Newton finished the job because he was saying that he could get a more modern sound.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I guess we'll talk about that a bit more when we get into the...
Talking about production and stuff and comparing the two. Yeah, cool.
But I've got a quote here from Malcolm Dome of Kerrang! Magazine describing Keepers 1, the most remarkable opus since Def Leppard's Pyromania half a decade ago. Isn't it wild that it's saying like half a decade is like a really like
an epic amount of time.
It's the best album.
And I suppose in heavy metal years, which is like dog years, like in heavy metal years, especially in the 1980s, it really is an epic amount of time.
Yeah, like the world had moved a long way in those 5 years, but I found that quite funny.
I don't know if I'd call Hysteria an opus though, but that's
Pyromania.
Pyromania, sorry. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call Pyromania. That's a different story. But regardless, I take his point. Yeah. In general, I'm a follower of Malcolm Dome. He's on the money most of the time. High praise. Should we talk about Michael Kiske for 3 hours, or we'll just?
Well, yeah, I think we got to cover this off the top. Yeah. That he is an excellent vocalist.
Yeah.
And like all the musicianship on this album is outstanding.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to note that this is in the analog days.
Yeah.
This is people. There's no. Yeah. Well, you can edit, but it's very hard. This is. Yeah. These are very skilled musicians. Yeah. Doing incredible takes with very little assistance.
Yes. Yeah, there's certainly no auto-tune, and there's not like months in the studio. There's not, they're recording to tape, which is expensive and limited.
Yes.
They don't just have like, hey, you got 6 months to record this album. They probably did this in weeks. Like.
Yeah, I think it was I think it might have been 6 to 8 week period.
Yeah. Man, like, and Michael Kiske, just as a vocalist, I still think he's underrated. I know, like, he's got his fanboys, all right? You're laughing at me, right? I don't think he's rated highly enough. Like, it should be like Halford, Dickinson, Dio, Kiske, he should be the fourth person mentioned in that breath, and that's not to say that's not my favorite vocalist of all time in certain order, but like I just wanted to be part of that conversation.
In the pantheon.
I wanted to be in the pantheon, absolutely, man. Like his delivery is just like such power and precision and passion, like
and control and maturity of his voice and
these things can't be overstated when we're talking about this kind of stuff, because like you say, this is, analog days. Nowadays, of course, people could do what he's doing, and musicians get better as the world of musicians get better. All musicians get better, But nowadays you can record in your room and take 2 years to get a good vocal take if you want to, and that's if you want to do it right, like without auto-tune or whatever. Yeah. But Michael just would have been singing these songs from start to finish, or half of them, and the takes are just magic.
Yeah.
Just magic. Before we go track by track, I want to know how you first heard this album. Like when...
Yeah. So I heard Keepers 2 first.
Yep. Interesting.
Yeah. When I was probably 17, 18, I'd just moved to Wollongong.
Yep.
And a mate of mine, Tim, who was living maybe a block or two away, we used to hang out a lot and listen to power metal.
Yeah, sick.
But he had the poster of, I think it was like a canvas poster type thing.
Oh, right.
Like a roll-up, of Keepers 2, the cover on the back of his front door of his apartment.
Epic.
And I was like, what?
Scene.
Yeah, I was like, what's this? He's like, it's just this.
That old thing.
Yeah, the story of this mad warrior that's got to go defeat get rid of the 7 keys. Yeah. Well, actually, before we get too far into that,
I was hoping this wouldn't come up. How could it not? I don't understand the plot of this thing.
Ostensibly a concept album.
Yeah, loosely.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's claiming to be with the part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
But there is literally follow the sign at the end, like the little outro track.
Yeah.
And
the title track
of Keepers 2. They're the only real references to
the plot.
Yeah. The others are all kind of unrelated.
Yeah.
Largely, entirely. Like, there's no way that Future World is in any way related to this story.
It would be a stretch. So would Dr. Steen.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yes.
So your mate with the poster on the wall?
Yeah. So, so listen to that, and it's just... You forget about it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Game over.
Yeah. I've got I'm getting the CD, and this is the 88 version, so not a remaster or anything. But the Keepers one I got probably a year or two later. This is the 06, probably a few years later then.
Yep.
Because this is the expanded edition.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Oh man, and a very fruitful period for the band, obviously. So even the B-sides, there's a lot to like there. There's a couple of B-sides that are really killer, like particularly Savage and Livin' Ain't No Crime. Like, those are cool songs, and that's not even... There's a bunch, so...
Yep.
Really fruitful time. The first time I heard any Helloween was... It's a bit bizarre, it's a bit random. I think I'm like maybe 14-ish years old, and I've come home one afternoon, and... my brother and his partner, now wife, B, were watching some old concert footage of B's a dancer, right? Okay. And a dance instructor. And she was looking for something to show my brother. Like, I don't know what she was looking for. She was like, there was a memory thing, and she says, I was searching through some tapes, right? Anyways, I had to walk in, and one of the dancers was on, and it was a Stedford performance in front of a school or whatever it was, and the song that they were doing this production to was Future World.
Well,
right, just and now that I think about this, it's even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
I didn't even think much of it at the time. I was just like, okay, just watching some... Yeah, so they had this school production or whatever it was, a Stedford production, and the song was Future World. And I'm like, man, what's this song? This is sick. And but he's like, I don't know the name. I have no idea, but she, but she knows all the words because she's done the dance 1,000 times. Anyways, and this time, I'd only heard, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath. I'm very much on the foundational stuff. Helloween were one of the first bands of the Great Beyond. They're one of the first kind of beyond tier bands where I'm like, not everyone listens to this band, right? So that was kind of like my first little step beyond there. And when I heard that, I was like, man, I've got to find out what this is. And but he's like, I'll find out for you whatever the song is. So next time she's at dance with her colleagues, she tells me next time I see her. So this is a long... Before I could even find out what the song was called or who the artist was. Yeah. I find out it's Helloween, it's Future World. So the next time I have access to dial-up internet, I look up Helloween, Future World. How do I find whatever it is? It's on an album called Keeper of the 7 Keys, Part 1. So next time I go to JB Hi-Fi,
you're like...
it was totally there. it was totally on the shelf for
You're
Jamie
like, I can't wait to hear about this concept album that is about the future world.
I want to know how it ends. Do we all get to future world eventually? Oh man. Bought a JB Hi-Fi.
Awesome.
Changed my life.
My first hearing of Helloween was before this, and it was on a compilation CD a friend had given me.
Yeah.
But it was Just a Little Time or something like that. One off the...
Just a Little Sign, I think it's called.
Off like a album from 2002.
Rabbit Don't Come Easy.
Yeah. I remember it just having the worst lyrics.
Yeah.
It was like something like, something's growing in my pants as she looks into my eye.
My goodness.
And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. In a career of some questionable lyrics, that's a particular low point.
Yeah.
Not a great fan.
Yeah. So that kind of... I was surprised at how much...
Yeah.
Keepers was better than that.
Yeah.
Because, your first impression is a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, arguably, that's a different band that you're listening to. That's a conversation for a different day, I think. But yeah.
I'm glad I was able to overcome it because,
Indeed.
Enjoy the fruits.
Indeed. I should just talk, when we were talking before about just the members and the high level of musicianship, I just want to mention drummer Ingo Schwichtenberg, R.I.P., passed away in the 90s.
Very sad story.
Yeah, took his own life, which is really sad. I think when the band splintered and record label woes and... I
think he had a lot of issues and...
Yeah, very sad. R.I.P., great drummer. And I don't know if you've seen much footage of him playing, but there's a bit of drum cam footage of him playing in the 80s on YouTube. Right. You can find it very easy.
Yeah.
And he's just... He plays with like his whole body. He's always like moving.
Yep.
And like even and when he stops in the pauses, which there are many for dramatic effect, these pauses, he just keeps moving, and then he comes back in, and his body he's just such a physical and immersive player, and nice. Just legend.
Yeah. So Keepers 1, 23 reviews on Mental Archives at an average of 84%.
Here's Ray with the stats. Crossing over to Ray with the stats.
Which is, it's like very high, but not like...
What's the percentage, sorry?
84.
Yeah.
But it's not out of this world. Funny thing with Keepers 1, and it sort of surprised me in the last couple of weeks when I actually paid attention to this fact. It's quite short.
Yeah.
There is it's just under 37 minutes.
Yeah. But...
included in that is Initiation, the intro track, and Follow the Sign, the outro track. Yeah. Which probably, it's an extra 4 minutes. So you kind of like...
You've only really got, 33 minutes of solid music.
Yeah, like 6 songs is the...
Yeah.
And this is a band that wanted to make a double album.
Yeah. Not off to a flying start as such.
But I think there's not really a lot of filler in it. So that's
certainly
fun.
not. And the first... 5 or 6 Van Halen albums, I think one of them's 28 minutes long. Yeah. Rain in Blood's only 28 minutes long. Yeah. It's...
Yeah, and No Mercy is it's...
Show No Mercy, it's probably around the same. Well, how long's an album? How long is an album,
I don't know.
Yeah. No one knows.
No one knows. So Kai Hansen does all the rhythm guitars on the recording of Keepers 1.
Yep.
Because of the aforementioned illness.
Viscart was out of the game at the time.
Yeah. And also only contributed the one writing credit because of that. But he did the solos, obviously.
Right, obviously. Yeah.
I don't know why that's obvious.
A lot of twin guitar stuff going on, so yeah.
So Initiation, you got pretty epic intro track there. You think, there's a bit of a story going to happen.
Yeah.
Then I'm Alive. One thing about the vocals come in really quick on this song.
Yeah.
So they're making a real statement early about this is, we sound different now.
Yeah.
We have a new singer, and he's not. Some bands might try and ease into the new sound, but they're just they're up front.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Yeah.
He sounds remarkably different.
Yeah.
And deal with it.
Yeah, that's it. Less harsh than Kai, a much cleaner sound. Like I said, there's some people who swear by the Kai stuff, and that's their favourite, and fair enough. But Kiska is a different character.
Yeah.
And just out of the gate, like you say, the vocals are straight up front. I'm alive, yeah, I'm alive. How about I sing the whole thing now? I'll just
a cappella.
Yeah, incredible. A Little Time, next track. I love the little sound effects breakdown in this one, with the clocks,
Yeah, that's
having a bit of fun,
Yeah, it does mark it as being from 1987.
Totally, yeah, absolutely.
But that's a Kiske penned song. So
yes. Straight away, here I am, got a song for you.
Second drop, the second real track of the album, and you're the and it's a really mature, it's a song with a lot of showing some mature songwriting, and it's a lot of things happening to it.
Yeah.
In that, he does one of your favorite moves, the saying higher.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Wow, man, that's awesome. Yeah, I'd forgotten. I'd only thought about the one in Dr. Steen. Higher step. So we get one on each album.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Higher. Excellent.
But yeah, mid-paced rocker, good foot stomper.
Yeah.
Twilight of the Gods.
My personal favourite off this album.
Interesting. Do you feel like to be in a band you have to have a song called Twilight of the Gods?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're worth your salt, if you're worth a damn, you've got a song called Twilight of the Gods. Or Don't Talk to Me,
Go write it.
Yeah. Either you got a song or you're writing it now called Twilight of the Gods. Yeah, love that track, man.
Yeah, I feel like this one shows off. I'm not sure if it's a Helloween or a Kai Hansen thing in particular, but the sort of riff sections with an A-B part where it's goes open, particularly the drums or the guitars will be a bit more open, and then a real trim-picked, you'll go ride to fast hi-hats or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it happens a lot in Gamma Ray in particular, so I'm thinking it's a Kai Hansen thing, but maybe it happens through all Helloween, and I'm not overly familiar with later albums. But
I'd wager, I agree with you, I think it's a Kai Hansen kind of preferred thing. But that, that was the basis of the Helloween sound for a while as well.
Yeah.
Kai Hansen played on these Foundation albums, the first three, and plus that EP. So, you can say it's a part of the Helloween sound.
Yep.
Because of that case, yeah.
And classic power metal leads in there.
Yeah, for sure. It's got one of the best pre-choruses of all the time, man. Fire flash in the night, just an evil dream.
I reckon this album has some of the best pre-choruses. Pre-choruses that would be other bands would kill to have as choruses.
Yeah, man, totally. Yeah.
Halloween at the end, the pre-chorus for that.
What a song.
But we're not there yet.
We're
still inside A.
We got a ballad, a tale that wasn't right.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about this in the ballad episode, which is incredibly remiss of us.
Incredibly, yeah, because I don't think we talked about we got the right either off the part two, but we'll get there. But you're right, yeah, that's outrageous.
And this is
it's beautiful.
As far as vocal performances go, this is
you became a legend on the spot.
Yeah. Jeff Tate and Silent Lucidity is amazing, but I don't think it touches this.
Yeah, man. I am with you.
I remember a time, probably, it might have been about a decade ago, we were chatting about Helloween.
Yeah.
And I think we'd probably had a few beers.
Sounds like us.
Yeah. But you were talking about the Elvis Kiske comparison.
Right.
And you were saying that, if Elvis was a power metal singer...
He'd be Michael Kiske.
Yeah. And I think you used this song as the reference.
Yeah.
Is that
cool.
Do you recall that at all?
I don't recall it, but I
stand by
it. Yeah, absolutely stand by it. Yeah. It's known that he's a huge Elvis fan, and I think actually you can probably he would work in some Elvis lines or an Elvis chorus into improv parts in the shows.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love the stops before the chorus
just pregnant pauses.
Yeah, and the massive snare.
Yeah,
during the chorus.
Yeah. They're giving Def Leppard's Pyromania a run for its money on the size of snare sound. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, got the extra tank worth of reverb.
Yeah. We're going to need an extra reverb tank, guys.
Blown through our supplies already.
Yeah. God damn.
And the guitar solo, that tone on that. It's the kind of guitar tone where you just know that it's really, really loud.
Yeah. Yeah, in the room.
Yeah.
It was loud. Yeah. Yeah, you can hear some feedback and some noise, and it's just, like you said, man, the analog days, it's real. It's a real tone. It's in your face.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Who plays that solo? We probably can't tell. I won't be able to tell from opening the...
Yeah, given that's the Vikarth pen song, so I'm going to guess him.
Yeah, indeed. Future World.
So this is start of side B.
Yep.
And like this is where listening on a CD or in the streaming world, it's a little bit jarring the jump between these two songs because you've got the fade out of A Tale That Wasn't Right and from a ballad, and then it suddenly jumps into this
up tempo, Rocker Stedford worthy dance track. Really, it's 80s as hell, and it is like such a pop song.
It's you could have this in any Gamma Ray album.
Yeah, definitely. And I would wager that this is mainly where the Thrashier and the Kai fans who swear by Walls of Jericho, this is probably where they get off the train.
Yeah.
And fair enough. Wish you guys all the best, but right. If you're not on board with this, then you're probably not on board with part 2.
You're gonna struggle when it gets to
there's some sugar, there's some
rise and fall will.
That'll do you in, man. You'll be out. One last thing I want to say about Future World. Incredible pre-chorus. I just want to sing it, but I've just realised that we can't just have an hour of just me just singing all these pre-choruses. But just unreal. If it makes you just want to get up and rock, and that's what else is a good heavy metal song, So
exactly.
I stand by Future World, and rock and roll.
Helloween. Do you think that he... I know the lyrics are always Halloween, but do you think he actually says Halloween?
Oh, yeah. Good question. Yeah, good question.
I reckon he slips a few in there.
He's always saying Halloween, but I reckon a couple of times he says Halloween.
Yep.
Yeah, I know what he's saying. Yeah. I reckon the 5th and 7th time he's saying Halloween instead of Halloween. Yeah.
But this is a 13-minute epic... or so, something like that.
As Mr. Spock from Star Trek would say, 13 minutes and 18 seconds to be precise.
Yes, indeed. And then they made a film clip out of it where they butchered it down to about 8 minutes.
Why even do that if it's still going to be 8 minutes long? Surely that didn't get much play on MTV. It was 8 minutes long. Yeah, it's still too long for a video, man.
But not enough to be a...
It's pretty cool, though. Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
But everything happens in this song.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, all the things. It is an epic worthy of the ages. It is really well written. This is the song that gives this album its esteem and gives the band the esteem. I think this is the song because there's not a dead moment in the song. It's so dramatic. And there's great all the moments. There's like you're saying, it's got all the things. Carry on, please.
No, go ahead. Yeah. The ripping drums, a really casual vocal in the pre-chorus. He does a lot of the particularly in Keepers too. But he just sort of wanders in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Drama. He takes a step back. That's another thing about Kisker's dynamics. He's not just flat out all the time. And to have a performance like this on your first album, it's ridiculous, you know? I mean, even Bruce Dickinson, is a more of a steady, kind of set and forget kind of guy. He just sings at a certain level all the time, you know? More power to him, of course. But Kisker's just got, this push and pull, you know? He brings it back and knows when to, go all out. That's awesome.
Yeah. Whether it's the two Tommies producing him, or
Tommy 1 or Tommy 2,
or just being a very skilled musician.
Yeah,
literally has everything that happens in a Halloween song.
Yeah,
happens in Halloween.
Yeah. So if you take away from this episode is, I only want to listen to one Halloween song. Well, make it Halloween. Please.
The really long one.
The really long one, yeah.
And then you've got Follow the Sign at the end, which has a little bit of atmospheric guitars and then a narration alluding to the 7 keys.
Yeah.
Of which the album is named.
And of which we've heard nothing about so far.
Yeah.
I would like to take this opportunity to say that, quote, a friend of mine, Danny Albanese, we used to listen to these albums together all the time, and he once remarked, Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1 and 2 is like Terminator Part 1 and 2. You just can't argue with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So I've never forgotten that. And I love that quote because of like, it's how accurate it is, but it's also still a little bit vague.
Yeah, very vague.
Yeah, it's quite vague. So what does that mean? You can't argue with them.
Yeah.
But also I totally get it. But yeah, you cannot argue with them.
Yep.
Can't argue with them, man. And a lot like Terminator Parts 1 and 2. The second one, bigger budget, more sprawling.
Yep. Longer.
A dash more plot.
Yeah, dash more plot. But yeah, we go up to, that was 36.58 for the first album, 49.23 for the second.
Are you including?
I'm not including Save Us, the bonus track.
Very good, sir. Good bit of minutiae there is that Save Us is tucked into the CD version, so you wouldn't think it was a bonus track because it fits in very well. But on the original LP, did not have Save Us. So even without Save Us, it's 49.
Yeah.
It's 49 minutes long, yeah.
Yeah. 22 reviews on Metal Archives at an average of 86%.
Yes. Yeah, cool. Not high enough, but whatever. What do I know?
Yeah.
I've only got a heavy metal podcast, you know.
You're a pundit.
I'm a pundit. That's ridiculous. I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, mate. I'm leaving it in.
Yeah. too bad, Phil.
1988, so yeah, less than a year later, or thereabouts. They'd already recorded but this time around, Kai Hansen just has the one writing credit. Yeah, and Michael Vykath is.
He's got 3 tracks, 2 or 3.
He's pretty much everything else except You Always Walk Alone and We Got the Right, Kiske, and then I Want Out is. Kai Hansen, everything else.
It's very Kai Hansen. So this album overall is more Vykart's baby than it is Hansen's, would you say? It's definitely a collaboration, obviously, but more so Vykart's baby, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think, maybe when we get to I Went Out towards the end, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it opens up with Invitation, another intro track to... I feel like there's no narration. There's just like a... bombastic little intro.
Yeah, it's just like a dramatic fanfare, I would call it, isn't it? It's just trumpets and the signalling of epic things to come. Yeah,
and we get into Eagle Fly Free. Eagle Fly Free. Which, like the drums in this, they don't stop doing stuff.
Relentless.
Yeah.
Just relentless.
So busy.
For better or worse, this song, like instilled the power metal ethos of just doing double bass drums all the time, which was kind of also the death of power metal, I think, as well. But at this time, and for what it is, like just the relentlessness and the clarity of this drum performance is... It's
like in the pre-chorus, he's just doing like a drum roll for, the 30 seconds of pre-chorus. Yeah. And actually the vocals in this, while the drums are doing everything, the vocals are right on that, like the syllables, right on the beat type thing.
The vocals are kind of punctuating the beat more so than the...
In the verse and the pre-chorus and chorus. Yeah. It happens another couple of times through the album, but it's sort of the opposite of what we're talking about, where he pulls back or he moves around. Yeah. And this is like...
He can be like percussive in his vocal attack. Yeah. That's actually one of the songs you can watch the drum cam of
that'd be really good.
So it's check that out. Eagle Fly Free, could probably talk about this song for a long time, but it's just an epic for the ages. Yeah. Chorus, my goodness, fist in the air. Yeah. And hearts flying. Much like the eagle. Yeah. Hearts soaring. Yeah. Like the eagle.
I know they aren't the lyrics, but in my head, the chorus lyrics have just been embedded as like, I think it's like "Just Go Your Own Way" or something like that. But in my head, it's just fucking tell me.
Still better lyrics than just a little sign or whatever.
Yeah, I know these aren't the words, but that's all my...
Hey man, if it gets you motivated, then that's half the job done, man. Yeah, I think it's Just Make It Your Own Way. Just make it your own way.
Yeah,
maybe.
Just fucking tell me.
Yeah, tell me.
You Always Walk Alone, the next one, another Kiske track. This is one that I feel like needs a different name because like when I was looking through the track list, I'm like, I don't know what that song is. And then I put it on and I'm like, oh, I know this song.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't sound to me like it has that name.
Right, okay. Even though he says it at the end of the chorus?
Yeah, but I don't think it's
not
I don't think it's as prominent
yeah.
as it would be in Eagle Fly Free is very prominent.
yeah, gotcha.
I don't know.
I don't particularly like it because it just reminds me of that. What's the traditional? Well, it's not a traditional song. They sit. Manchester United sing it at their football games. You know. Always walk alone.
Right. Okay.
I just shouldn't have the same title as that. It's quite a stirring song, and yeah. I don't want to biff it too much, but because it's a killer song, man. It's radical. What have we got here? Rise and Fall.
Yeah, pretty daft.
Super daft.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guys who got off the train at Future World,
if they checked in again, they were like, no, I made the right choice.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah.
A lot of very silly lyrics and sound effects and yeah.
But super fun and it rocks.
Yeah.
It totally rocks.
Super busy bass line in there.
Yep.
But yeah, just at the end, rise.
Yeah. Fall. Yeah. And as if there wasn't enough daftness there. Dr. Steen. A little sci-fi short story, a ditty about a version of Frankenstein who's a scientist who what is he get up to, man? He grows funny creatures and they become rock musicians, politicians, great possession and great oppression.
Lets them run into the night.
Yeah.
It's a nice foot stomper though.
Totally, man. I love Dr. Steen. This song totally rocks, man.
And you get the higher step.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Yeah, great song. And a concert favourite for a long time for them. I've never seen Helloween live, right? I've never seen Michael Kiske live. I hope to. Still get the chance at some point. If you've heard or seen any recordings of him, he delivers in spades.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He delivers in spades. I don't know why I'm taking this particular opportunity to say this right now. It's not directly relevant to Dr. Steen, but just thinking of their concerts, like, man, he's, no problem delivering it live. And just wanted to make that mention.
Last song on side A. Last track on side A. We Got the Right, another Kiske penned. Outrageous vocals on this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, probably, Jesus, hard. It's a tough call, man, but it's like... I was going to say probably the best on the album, but like it's a tough call. But just
he's up in the high register, and
and it's
so many words.
Yeah, heaps of words, and just the clarity. Like just when he's singing in that register, it's not irritating.
Yeah.
A lot of people when they're up there, it's like
well, it's because it's so full still.
Yes, you're damn right.
Because people get thin real quick.
Yeah,
but he, I don't know what his full range would be, but because it's so full there, you kind of in your head you're thinking he's got a lot more to go. I don't know whether he just stops at some point.
Yeah,
but he just stays full the whole way.
He must. Unless
there's a theoretical limit.
Unless he's always singing so high that we actually can't hear him because of the frequency.
Yeah, dogs love it.
Yeah, man, huge dog fan base. Yeah, We Got the Right is an incredible vocal performance. A lovely tune. And really showcases his range, as you've said, because he's got such a full-bodied baritone as well, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. I love the stops in that song, and then the bass slide to come out of him.
Yeah, rad.
It's tough.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, very cool.
And we flick over to side B, March of Time.
Yes.
This is like a short
fanfare kind of introduction.
Yeah, a real short one.
Yeah.
And then just into a heavy, fast.
Yeah.
The daftness is certainly gone by this point.
Yeah, this is a serious song. I think
I think side B is pretty serious.
Yeah, it is. And this is my pick off this album. This is my favourite, March of Time. Incredible pre-chorus. And his voice.
We've referenced pre-choruses probably more than...
Yeah, choruses. And mate, I'm wondering if Helloween's the band for pre-choruses.
Blind Guardian would be up there.
10. Yeah, fair enough.
Curse of Fear and all, that's a pre-chorus for the ages.
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about that just now.
Yeah, Killer Track. That's Kai Hansen's song, isn't it?
No. I Want Out is the Kai Hansen song.
Yeah, but is March of Time also a Kai Hansen song?
No, I thought it was just the one.
No, March of Time is Kai Hansen.
Ah, right. Yeah. Well, I was wrong.
Yeah, that's
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it makes a bit more sense. Yeah, that's March of Time is absolutely one of my favourites. It's just like a lot of these songs just didn't get played, you know, because they only had so many time in a set list. Yeah. And then, you know, the lineup splintered quite quickly after this album.
Yeah, well, so Kai would leave. Yeah, well, I mean, I Want Out really is. He wanted out.
Yeah, damn. Based on a true story.
Yeah, well, so the Gamma Ray DVD you're perusing when you arrived here, he says in that because they play I Want Out.
Oh, right.
And he says, when I wrote this song, we were in this big band and everything was happening, and all I could think was I Want Out. Right. So it's kind of.
There you go.
A tumultuous period because so Keepers 1 comes out and they play like that. Was it Monsters of Rock with Guns N' Roses in the Donington one where Appetite had just come out.
Yeah, photographs of Bruce Dickinson at the time. He can be seen wearing a Helloween shirt. Yeah. Really getting recognition.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it just obviously a lot happened
and they obviously just weren't getting along, right? As a group, they weren't functioning as a unit, right? And Kai wasn't happy. Wasn't a fun circumstance anymore.
Yeah, maybe it just wasn't what he wanted in, because I guess they had some level, because I think Jericho sold about 100,000 pretty quickly, and then but then Keepers 1 sold 100, like the same in 8 weeks or something after release. Yeah. And they're like, what's going on? Yeah. But I don't know that necessarily translated into a lot of money for them. Yeah. Which, is often the case.
Indeed.
But it bore out this great... I Want Out, say, Gamma Ray would play that throughout their...
Forever.
Yeah. And, just a great song. That was the one they did the film clip for off this album.
Yep.
But in that last chorus, when he holds the high note...
man. Leave me alone. It's still going.
It goes for a long time.
Insane. It's so cool. Is that the most famous Halloween song? Do you think? I think people who don't even know Halloween know who that song is.
Yeah, I reckon probably because it's only like 3.5 minutes or something. 4.5 minutes. Yeah, and it's the people that got off the train. Yep, they would be okay with it.
Yeah, that would be moderately accepting of I Want Out in a heavy metal playlist.
I reckon, particularly if it was sung by Kai Hansen, like a Gamma Ray live version, perhaps. Yeah. And the key change at the end as well.
Yeah, upper tone.
Yeah.
Very pop.
Because he had somewhere to go.
Yeah.
He had more voice left. Keeper of the Seven Keys, the title track of these 2 albums. Finally, we get to the point of the concept.
Yeah. This hitherto
alluded to,
but
it's similar to Helloween. A lot of things happen in this song. Yeah. It's 13 minutes 38 seconds, so it's very. Yeah. There's time for a lot of things to happen. Yeah. Yeah. There's a few bits I want to point out. Yeah. Lyrically. Yeah. Yeah. There's the line silly a silly bum with 7 stars. I don't know of another.
Who do you think you are? A silly bum with 7 stars.
Yep. And there's don't let him suck off your power. Is another lyric that comes up. And these are sung seriously.
With stern resolve.
Yeah. They're not meant to be funny. But then there's a little sort of narration bit in the middle, towards the end. Yeah. And this is an earthquake, squirting fire. Which... Yeah. I don't want to bring too much geology into this, but if your earthquake's a squirting fire, it's probably a volcano. I don't want to be pedantic, but
this is what we're here for. Yeah. This minutia is what we're here for, man. Yep. I'm just crossing to Ray with the science.
Earthquakes typically don't squirt fire.
And earth swallowing him away. I do love that bit.
Oh, and then it goes into that final. Yeah. That final chorus is just huge.
this song is worthy of the title.
Yeah.
And that chorus is worthy of the title.
Yeah. The song is like so immense and epic that unless you paid attention and thought about it again afterwards, you would forget that there was no concept album to this concept album. Because it ends so satisfactorily.
Yeah.
You think,
all is forgiven, man. Like, all is forgiven. When you get to that song, you're just like, that's fine. I don't mind that I was essentially robbed of 90 minutes of plotless nonsense, right? I don't mind at all.
Happy about it, weirdly.
In fact, I'm very happy about it. Yeah, man, that's killer. And in an album of vocal performances, that's right up there. It's wild.
Can we just talk about German guitarists for a second?
Of course we can.
I think that, like, in bands in the 80s, or, there's two types. There's the guy that looks like a rock star, which I would say Kai Hansen is that.
Totally.
Then there's the guy that, like, his teenage kids got his friends over and he learnt to play guitar that week.
Yeah.
And he's just learned how to do something.
Yeah.
And he wants to show off to the 15-year-old kids in his house.
Hey guys, come check this out.
Yeah. I think that's the two types.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Because like was it Henyo is the other guitarist in Gamma Ray?
Yep.
And he's definitely the nerdy dad type.
Yep. Henyo Richter. Yeah.
And I feel like Blind Guardian, Andre is obviously the dad and Marcus is the rock star.
Sweatpants all the way on Andre. Yep.
But does this hold up? Am I being too harsh on?
I'd have to give this some more thought, to be honest.
Yeah.
Are you being too harsh? I don't think you're being too harsh, but I'd have to give it some more thought. As far
is it
as
a rule across all
German
power metal bands?
Is it widespread? I don't know. I actually haven't seen heaps of photographic evidence of the power metal times of the 1980s, particularly German. Like there's not heaps of concert footage of it either. Really, like Rage and Running Wild. Like there's a real dearth of live footage of those bands. Actually, I think. Oh, but actually, Running Wild are the particular exception to these, anyways, because they were all just like pirates, weren't they? The pirate band.
Yeah. So
are you a Running Wild fan?
Not a massive one, but I like them. But
another time. But Under Jolly Roger is as daft as it gets, and it's so much fun. I love that album, man. Yeah. Sorry, back to title track. Oh no, you're talking about guitarists.
Yeah. Because I got thinking it was a bit like in the 90s in the Australian Test cricket team. Yeah. Where you had the Julios and the Nerds. Yeah. And it was like Shane Warne was the king of the Julios and Steve Waugh was the king of the Nerds. Right. And you could only be one or the other.
Just crossing to Ray in sports.
90s cricket references too niche.
Perfectly niche. Just niche enough. The Venn diagram of heavy metal podcast fans and 90s cricket fans is... well, it's not a Venn diagram. They're two circles.
Independent circles.
I do have a couple of questions for you.
Yep.
Which one is better, objectively and subjectively? Do you think one is better than the other, and do you have a favourite?
I think Keepers 2 is better, and partly because there's more of it. There is 6 songs on Keepers 1, and there's not that many more on Keepers 2. There's only 7. But it feels a lot more. Yeah. Like full songs. Yeah. I don't know. Well, maybe it's because that was the one I got to first and have, I really like the song Keeper of the Seven Keys. I really like Helloween as well, but I like of the two, if you were to face them off against each other, which I would go Keepers. And the songs like I Went Out, We Got the Right, Eagle Fly Free. I feel like it's...
stunning.
Yeah. Well, how about you?
Yeah, I'm part 1.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot like Terminator Part 1 and 2.
Yep.
There's like a conciseness and an immediacy to the Part 1. Yep. There's a bit more of a... Yeah, I don't know. It's like... the world of Terminator 1 is like... It's a very tight story. It's a taut story, and there's like... It's got a real concision and it finishes and wraps up so nicely. And it's just... That's how I feel about Part 1. And Yeah, part 2 is sprawling and there's more of it, and it's a little bit diffuse. We're in the subatomic here, right? I am absolutely picking ridiculousness. Like part 2 is just a bit diffuse. Like if it lost a track, it wouldn't be overly, to me, I'd be like maybe Rise and Fall.
Yeah. I was like, which of the two Daft ones are you going to...
Yeah. You got me.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit diffuse, but and part 1 is just a little bit rawer, and just because my favorite tracks are Helloween and Twilight of the Gods. They're just they are there, and even probably
no, Tale That Wasn't Right as well. Yeah. Both very good albums.
Yeah.
That's why we're talking about
it. Another question for you.
Yep.
What do you think of that? How do you think about the way it worked out? Like, do you think it would have succeeded as a double album? Is that a good or a bad thing?
Well, yeah, that's a really interesting thing, because that's going back to I Want Out, and we've got this. Had they been released as a double album, or had it been done as a double album, maybe it buys them a little bit longer in terms of. I don't know that they necessarily had to do an album within the next year, but if they had the bigger body of work, maybe they could have had a longer period of touring that or whatever, and maybe the band doesn't. Well, Kai Hansen doesn't burn out and leave, and I get one of those things we'll never know. But it's hard given that. I guess a lot of the songs on Keepers 2 weren't written yet, so it's would you push it back a year and but then do the Keepers 1 songs? Do then they get overdone? Like do they have too long to recycle or go over and edit and think about what they really want to so there's a bit of immediacy in getting something out.
One thing we didn't really touch on, which I think this gets to, is the difference in production between the two.
Yes.
So you wonder, if they had done the double album and taken longer to do it, would the production have been as good for either of them? Like, would we still have the rawness of number 1 and the clarity of number 2? Like, or which one would be sacrificed? Like, would they be a lesser degree of one of those charming things, or would they be
somewhere in the middle of them?
And not as good? Obviously, we'll never know. But like, these are interesting variables and interesting, hypotheticals.
Yeah, because I guess it was also a time when, technology is always changing rapidly, but certainly, I guess that Keepers 1, I don't think would have been released. Well, maybe it was, but on CD initially. But Keepers 2 probably was.
Oh yeah.
Given the 87.
I guess,
yeah. Maybe Keepers 1 wasn't.
CDs were being released at the time, but not every release. I think it was depending on how popular you were.
Yeah, for a relatively new band still, maybe they, like a German band making power metal, maybe that wouldn't have... on the table for them. It's interesting. And I don't... It's funny because we'll listen to them so many times, and I just listen to them back to back often anyways, so it's ridiculous I'm saying this, but I also don't know if they would work, which is ridiculous, but it's just how I feel. I don't know if I would like an album that's like 18 tracks long and is all of these songs. I don't know. I don't like the idea of Rise and Fall, being after Twilight of the Gods. I don't like that. I reckon Rise and Fall would, like, if that came in on the 65, 70 minute mark,
might get the ass.
Yeah, and I don't think the title track, Keeper of the Seven Keys, if that was 70 minutes in, I don't think it has the same impact as when it's 40 minutes in, or 35 minutes in, whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely, good call. Yeah, and which one of those two? Like, maybe they would have only put one of those epic length ones on there. So maybe the song Helloween might have been edited down to its 8-minute bastardized. I don't know. Like, a lot of these things would have been lost. I think. Yeah,
we will never know.
We will never know.
But it was to be the last of that lineup, and that lineup will never reform. But the Pumpkins United has happened with everyone else. Basically.
With everyone else, with a lot of legacy members and the replacement singer Andy Darris.
What's the new guitarist name that's been in the band for 30 years?
Yeah, the new guy that's been in the band for 30 years. Isn't that always the case with those things? Yeah. It's like
Yannick Gers.
Yeah, Yannick Gers.
Who was he? Who was he?
Oh man, and like the guy who plays bass in Metallica now, like the new guy. He's been in the band longer than
all of this century.
Yeah, like it's wild, man. The new guy. Okay, I'm getting off topic here. His name's Sasha Gerstner.
Okay.
Yeah, great player.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't argue with him, man.
He's the rock star version.
I wouldn't. Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't kick him out of my band. Like, yeah, great player. And I think with this outrageous version of Helloween they've got now, which is like playing huge stadiums, you know, to great success, having 3 guitars is good. Is good for them.
Yeah.
It's good for them.
Give Kai a little bit of a break.
Definitely.
He's earned it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's earned it. Kai Hansen, dead set legend, man. Like, he has pumped out so much great music over the years. You know, a true legend of European heavy metal, and and one of the greats. You know, I really, really respect Kai Hansen, and yeah.
Yeah, I think like, 'cause I'm a big Blind Guardian fan, as you know, but there's so much of what would be Blind Guardian's third and, you know, albums onwards coming from these two.
Yeah, right.
I think like Battalions of Fear, their first one's pretty simplistic, really.
Yeah.
But then because that was 88.
Yeah.
So the same time as Keepers 2.
Yeah.
But then by the time you're getting to Tales from the Twilight, there's like all these extra elements that Helloween had.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's...
Yeah. And it's a huge leap for Blind Guardian.
Yeah.
And a leap in the right direction.
Yeah. And Kai Hansen performing on those albums, like Follow the Blind, and
he pushed them to greater heights.
Yeah. And they didn't even. There was no attempt to hide that. Yeah. that this is where they're drawing from.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, influences on their sleeve, and proud of it. And Kai Hansen, like, a champion of the genre as well. Like he's done that work with Blind Guardian, and he also
Storm Warrior. Have you heard
that? Storm Warrior. Yeah. I think he helped form Iron Savior as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he helped form that band. And he helped a little old power metal band from Brazil called Angra.
Oh, yep.
Right, I'm a huge fan of. And he helped them as well. They recorded the first album in his studio.
Right.
Angel's Cry was recorded in, and he helped with production on that album, did a guitar solo in there as well. So just a real champion of the genre.
Yeah. Kai Hansen, what a guy.
What a guy. Any final words, Ray? Like...
I think that's pretty good.
It is pretty good. I think we wrapped it up. We did go on and on.
We went on and on.
We went on and on.
But whatever.
If you did listen this far,
good on you.
Good. Well done. No, really, we do appreciate it.
Yes.
And this is a lot of fun. I like talking about things I like. Talking about favourites is where it's at, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Killer. Keeper of the 7 Keys.
Keeper of the 7 Keys. Part 1, Part 2.
What's the playlist for this episode going to be, Ray?
Part 3.
Thanks for listening, guys. See you next time.
Thanks a lot.